Good morning again. Um, okay, I just recorded a video and posted it about how Kali came into my life and how I avoided her. I really want to tell a story about my first experience I had. When I was doing that sadhana I mentioned in that video, I had experiences of feeling a deeper resonance, of a deeper vibration, a deeper presence in myself. But that's not really what I'm talking about when I say having an experience. Often with Kali, you'll hear stories of, say, Ram Prasad Sen. He was a person who was an ecstatic Shakta Tantrika who would just go and chant and scream and sing songs to her randomly in the middle of the water. He would do it in the middle of the street. He did it everywhere. So everyone thought that. Sorry, I got interrupted then. I'm living next door to where I'm teaching, so the people were all coming out of a class and were very loud. Anyway, he was very ecstatic, and it happens a lot in Kali worship that people uh, get the feeling of her so fully inside themselves that they lose their connection to what they think of as their life, and they just start. They'll have a they'll they do screaming, they'll chant. Sometimes they do full rituals and have huge things happen for them. So I was in I it, this that was in 2016 when I was doing that sadhana. So I went back to India and I was teaching in Germany for 4 months. And about May, I think it was on my birthday actually, May 30th in 2017, I was flying back to um, India. No, I that on my birthday I went back from Cologne to Frankfurt and I stayed with my friend 2 days. Then I flew back. So it was like June 1st. I flew back, and I flew directly to Varanasi because I had a feeling I needed to go there because Shiva lives there. That means Kali lives there. There's a whole story and there's so many stories around Varanasi, and I've been there two more times since then. So there's a lot to say about that city. And if you know me in person, you've heard a lot of these stories already. So no need to even watch this if you already know these stories. Anyway, I was there. I met a friend of mine from Tamil Nadu. We were staying in one place, a very nice place, and we would just go around. And I had paid for a month to stay there. I decided I'm staying for a month. I had no idea it was going to be like 45 to 47 degrees Celsius daily. It was June. It wasn't rainy like a monsoon typically is, but it was just hot and humid, like when the rain won't come, that humidity gets hot and that pressure is really high. So we were going around daily to different temples, to different places, eating in different places, just having experiences and enjoying it, not enjoying it, hating every moment of it, all kinds of things. It's a very kind of a crazy place. So one evening we were leaving the Ganga Arati at the Dashashwamedha Ghat, going up the stairs there, and then there was a Kali Murti on the side, and I don't know, there was just a very strong presence there. But there was a little tiny sadhu who was painted like Kali with a humongous trishul. He was a little tiny guy, but the trishul was bigger than, taller than me, and it was solid metal, and he was banging it on the ground and screaming and sticking his tongue out, looking like Kali. It was really quite a very big spectacle. But it was very interesting to watch. So I made a mental note because we were heading to this temple that we liked for their evening arati, and so I made a mental note where the place was, and thought, okay, I'm gonna go back there sometime and look. So then it was coming to the time, and we decided to leave early because we really wanted to go to Rishikesh, and then I wanted to go to Uttarkashi up in the mountains, where I had another experience. So I can mention about that as well. And my friend was wanting to look for the samadhi of some saint that he liked because there's a place you're supposed to be able to meditate really nice and deeply. So he said, "Do you want to come?" And I said, "No, I think I'm going to go and finally find this Kali temple and have have a darshan there, maybe pay for, give a donation and have a puja done, something like that. That's what I really wanted to do. So I got there and I couldn't find the place. In Dashashwamedha Ghat, if you're there, there's kind of two ghats together, and if you go up this side of the stairs, you see one thing. If you go up this side of the stairs, you see another, and it's the ghat over here has a different name. I just didn't really remember the name of it right, or I'm not remembering it right now. And so I thought, okay, maybe I went up the wrong stairs. I couldn't find it, so I went up the other stairs. And I finally found it, and I turned, and when I looked at it, I saw a little older man sitting next to her. She's here, and it wasn't inside like a regular mandir where it's inside. It was just on the side of the thing, but it was a very powerful place. And it said Smashān Kali, which is the local dialect. Instead of Smashān, they call it Masan. Masan is the cremation ground. Smashān is the cremation ground. Smashāna in Sanskrit is the cremation ground. And it had a sign with some Hindi and Sanskrit and her. And I looked at her, and when I looked at her, I had a complete wipeout. My brain was gone, and I don't even remember thinking anything. I don't remember anything happening. I just remember. I don't even know how long I was standing there. I just remember at a certain point it dawned on me, like my consciousness is coming back into my frontal lobe, and I finally was like, okay, I need to turn around because as long as I'm looking at her, I'm not going to be able to function. So I slowly turned myself around and came back to, and I stood there like that for a moment, and then all of a sudden I found myself halfway up the ghats walking home. I didn't do the puja, I didn't do anything. It was very very strange experience, but I could not think clearly. There was no there was it wasn't even cloudy thoughts. I shouldn't say think clearly. I wasn't thinking. I was just having a complete empty brain. Uh, and it was very profound, very lovely, very deep feeling. And I thought, when I kind of came to, when I'm walking back, I thought, oh, do I go back because I wanted to do this? And I thought, no, just walk home. So I walked home. My friend got home and we talked about it, and I told him my experience, and that was it. We left the next morning. And then that summer, I was in Mysore after some more places I traveled around to. And my friend was going up there, and I said, hey, do me a favor. I'm going to give you some money. I want you to give a donation. If you can find it, I want to give you a donation, or you to give them a donation, and I want to, have a puja or an arati or something done there. And so he went and he sent me a photo of the place, and he brought back some, Rudraksha seeds are usually tiny, but those are actually the ones that are in Indonesia, and they've been bred to be smaller so they make malas more easily. Real Rudrakshas in India are bigger, like my wrist mala is a little bit bigger, not so big. But then in Nepal, they're huge. Five Panchamukhi, five Mukhis, five face ones are huge. And in Assam, they're also like that. And this is a big, big one. And I had 108. And he brought it back. The guy did a puja, had it blessed for me. And then he ended up doing the astrology. He stayed and had a great experience with the family. So it was very interesting to complete that experience several months after this happened. I was in June, and then it was in September when this happened. So 4 months later. And that wasn't the only experience I had that trip, but that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. It was a very interesting and my first kind of one of her, kind of gobsmacking you and being out of your brain, which is a nice feeling. Even though it sounds scary to some people, it's quite a good feeling to have no thoughts at all, when normally our thoughts are overtaking our consciousness and kind of ruling the roost, and that's not the goal. Goal is to kind of have this open mind where everything just can flow through. And I had that experience. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.